I think that we need to stage some sort of referendum over the term micro-influencer, because if you're an influencer, you do need to have a certain number of followers to earn that title, don't you? But this TikToker who got embroiled in a public controversy with a restaurant had to defend herself for being a micro-influencer, and she wanted to advocate on behalf of all micro-influencers who get disrespected by small businesses that they collaborate with. She was invited to, or maybe invited herself to, a collaboration with a restaurant in San Francisco.
It seemed like she was saying that she was invited by the restaurant to do
It's
some
unclear.
type of
She didn't show the screenshots.
Collaboration doesn't sound like you invite yourself. Collaboration insinuates that like this was planned by both of them.
Here's why I think that she invited herself. She, at the beginning of this story, had 15,000 followers on TikTok.
Okay.
That was her platform.
So what do you
have
consider a micro?
15,000 followers on TikTok, I'm sorry, but restaurants are not reaching out to you to get promotion from you. You probably are sending the first message out there, and then they are gonna maybe respond positively or not respond at all. Then this restaurant owner seemed open to the idea of her coming in and filming in their restaurant and reviewing their menu. And she says that once she showed up, they found out that she was not famous enough for their standards.
What, like a free meal? Like they weren't willing to get forego a free meal for the chance of being like reached to 15,000 people?
Well, it doesn't
Seems
exactly work like that. Like, just because you have a certain number of followers doesn't mean that you can reach people who, first of all, are going to like take any action.
No, but it's the hope.
Or
like,
who even live in the area.
You can put the content in front of 15,000
But here's the thing. It's not really the principle of what she's saying that's the problem. Like, they did invite you, they should follow through. But it's the general attitude of entitlement from influencers, and this is why influencer culture has gone way too far, because she basically put them on blast after their confrontation, and now the restaurant has shut down permanently. Let's just go through the first couple minutes of her video that has now reached 25 million views on TikTok. People did their sleuthing, they found out where the restaurant was, and they called this guy out. He had to respond and apologize and then shut down his business.
Bro, imagine being like a pizza shop and freaking Dave Portnoy walks in and you're like, fuck.
You know you're in for trouble. He comes unannounced.
If he likes it, great. You might get a bump in business. If he hates it, it's just you're screwed.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. That's why Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is the superior show.
He just likes everything.
Go rewatch. Like literally, I am based in Americana Pilled as always because I go and rewatch old episodes of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Read that 20 and then we will show the video.
Okay, we got a 20 from Vodka J Bulls, turning 39 on Friday. I tune in and see Optical Overlord and Ghost Empress more than most family members I have. LOL, could I get a B-Day shout out, please? Love you guys. Subtate Gongo for life.
B-Day shout out.
B-Day shout
happy
out.
birthday.
We are both the same
Happy
age
early
now.
birthday.
Somebody in the chat earlier asked if I was Gen Z. I said yes. No, my friend, we are both the same age now, so happy birthday.
Nice.
All right, here we go.
Thank you for tuning in. Here we go.
I don't know if I'm gonna post this video because I'm like still shaking and
I'm literally shaking.
Also,
I'm
she
literally shaking right
she
now.
knew she was going to post this
But
video.
she didn't eat, so her blood sugar's low. That's why she's shaking, yeah.
Here we go.
I just left a restaurant collaboration crying.
Filmed herself crying, of course.
I had a TikTok collab with a new restaurant in Hayes Valley that I was really excited for. I had it planned since last week. My reservation was at 5:30, but I went a little early at 5:10, so it was just me. My husband was going to meet me there. When I get there, I'm greeted by the host, and I introduce myself, tell him I'm here for the collab, and he was actually the guy I was speaking on Instagram with about it, so we were on the same page and ready to go. I started to film around the restaurant because I like to do that early on when there's less people. And after filming for a bit, I sit down at the table that's prepped for me, and it's a bar counter seat. I'm continuing to film the setup in the kitchen and stuff because it's really cute, but I hear the host and this other guy talking. And this other guy is behind the counter, so it's a small restaurant. He's like 2 or 3 feet away from me, so I can hear everything they're saying. I know that they're talking about me because I can hear them saying TikTok, views, followers, so I start listening in. The new guy is asking the host who I am, why I'm here, and how many followers I have on TikTok and what my TikTok is. And this guy pulls up my TikTok and says that I have 15,000 followers and I have some videos have millions of views, whatever, and this guy is not happy about it. He was saying that I have too little followers and that this was a mistake. Saying what about her Instagram, how many followers does she have there, and I don't use my Instagram for food, it's just my private Instagram. So this guy tells him that I have like 1,300 followers and he is not having it. Saying to the host that he shouldn't have invited me and that this was a mistake and that this was bad. And then he says, is she dining alone? Who else is coming? And the host says that I have a +1. And then he says, and this +1's late, but no one was late. I was there early. Mind you, this is all happening in front of me and they know that I can hear because we are so close to each other. At this point, I am turning red because I'm so embarrassed and I feel really disrespected, but the new guy comes to me and I introduce myself, I shake his hand, and I'm telling him that I'm still excited about this collab. Immediately he says, did you do any research on this restaurant? Do you know what we do? Do you know who we are? And mind you, they're really new, they don't have a website, but I know their menu front and back because whenever I go to a restaurant, I study the menu because I know what I like to order and I want to know what the restaurant is that I'm collabing with. I tell him that you guys don't have a website, but I know you are a wine bar and you serve smaller bites. He is smirking while he's listening to me and saying that I didn't do any research and that he thinks that there's been some miscommunication. He asks for my TikTok, which clearly you've done no research about me as well. And he starts scrolling through and playing my TikToks on full volume at the restaurant and not even my page.
He's just fully
That's mogging
putting
her.
her on blast. Well,
Yeah.
then it ends up turning the tables on her because he then asks her, do you know who I am? And I'm a recipient of this award and that award, and you have no idea what you're doing, and you don't have enough followers, and your followers aren't the types of people that we're looking to have as customers at this restaurant.
I don't think your followers are in our tax bracket, Missy.
She said it seemed like he was insinuating that my followers wouldn't be able to afford to eat at this restaurant. And so she put him on blast. She chose not to name the owner or the restaurant, but it was Kiss Cafe in San Francisco, owned by Luke Sung. And thank you.
Let's go.
The restaurant owner had to stand on business.
I will give the lady credit. She doesn't do this when she's talking. She's actually
calm.
very monotone and calm.
She's calm. Well, her video got so many views that thousands of people went and found the restaurant and started review bombing them and going after this guy. They also discovered that his daughter is a TikTok influencer with 600,000 followers. Her name is Issa Sung, and she is getting loads of hate comments for the behavior of her father, the restaurant owner. And he had to not only close down the restaurant just a week after this happened, but also issue a public apology to Carla, the TikToker, who started out this whole
scandal. If the business is closing, why would you say sorry?
She started out with 15,000 followers. She now has $450,000 off of this. So she's
followers, you mean?
Followers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is being rewarded for putting this expose out there on her page. So this was his apology that he posted. Hi everyone, I am Luke Sung, chef of Kiss Cafe. It was important to me to first apologize to Carla and step away before publicly apologizing. Carla, I am truly sorry for my actions towards you. I was condescending, hurtful, and intimidating. You didn't deserve to be made to feel less than or unimportant. Nobody does. Regardless, I thank you for teaching me a valuable lesson in kindness and respect. There are no excuses to be made, and I've decided it's time for me to step away permanently in all capacities. I also want to be clear, the responsibility of this situation is mine alone, and my behavior should not be a reflection on anyone else who works there or anyone who's related to me, meaning his daughter. I truly care about my staff and am devastated that my actions have impacted them and their families. I've worked with many of the employees at the restaurant for years, and they're incredible people who don't deserve to suffer due to my behavior. Okay, then don't shut down the restaurant. Finally, the last person I want to apologize to is my daughter, Isabel. I'm sorry to put you in this position, and I'm ashamed that you had to be the one to own up for my mistake. All I ever wanted to do is give you the opportunity to create a better life for yourself than the one I grew up with, and I've failed you in the worst way. I came to this country to give all of my kids the best chance to work hard toward their goals, and now I've given the public nothing but a reason to tear them down for my actions. Which is actually happening on his daughter Isabel's page. She had to issue a response and apologize on her father's behalf, saying, I'm genuinely so sorry to Carla. The way you were treated is unacceptable. I am really embarrassed that you had to go through that. I'm genuinely on your side, and I'll be having a serious conversation with my dad. She said that she was going to confront her father.
Scold her dad.
For this confrontation that he had with a random TikToker.
Why? Like, why? What is the point of having an industry full of bad boy chefs if he can't be like, F that woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Real.
I also, like, how are you going to end up in this situation where a TikToker ruined your family business, but you're also supporting your kids being TikTok influencers? Like, you're part of the problem, bro.
Well, I mean, that's all he had to do is like when he's like, oh, you have 15,000 followers. You should follow my daughter, and then don't tell her how many she has. Just send her the link.
No, he really he used his daughter's follower count to intimidate the TikToker, saying like, oh, well, my daughter has 600,000 followers, so you're basically nothing.
Yeah.
And this woman literally said in her caption, if you're a micro influencer, I know it's easy to feel discouraged at times, but don't let anyone make you feel small or unimportant. You are unimportant.
I mean,
you are
so on this guy's side.
If you care enough to call yourself an influencer, it just sucks.
His response was bitch made, but he had the choice to keep going. He didn't have to apologize. He didn't have to shut down his business. Yeah. He just put a bunch of people out of work over this because he wasn't able to like step back from internet backlash for 2 seconds and think about the consequences. Like, also just the entire term micro influencer pisses me off. That just means everyone considers themselves to be an influencer.
Yep.
Like, it's supposed to be people who have maybe 10 to 100K on any platform. So, like, it's more significant than just a random person having a following, but they're not actually, like, on the level of, like, an Alex Earl or, you know, a Katie Feeney, whatever. But, like, you know, if you're a micro influencer, those terms are kind of an oxymoron. Like, you have to have macro influence in order to influence people.
So there are whole articles written and a whole guide now that companies use on how to utilize the concept of the micro influencer to benefit their business. So it's actually like an industry specific term, but it's also the way she kept saying the word collab. Like, she's excited just to do it because she really wants to be an influencer.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just, like, what are you going to start saying that? Like, hey, you want to go collab later at, you know, such and such? Like,
well, I guarantee
I just collabed with Logan's Roadhouse.
There are TikTokers with less than 15,000 followers who act even more entitled than her.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably expect a restaurant to not only give them free dinner, but also pay them just to make the video.
Can I call like a flag on the play? Why is she allowed to bring somebody with for dinner?
She invited her husband.
That's crazy.
That look, you want to pay for her dinner, fine, but husband's gonna get in her ear and be like, actually, honey, the sirloin was disgusting.
That is wild.
And then the review is ruined because she won't know how to separate her opinions from her husband's.
No, it's real. That's 100% real.
You don't need to be at the mercy of these influencers as a business owner.
And the fact that he didn't double down is so... He could have just been like, 15,000? Oh, maybe Arby's would be a little more suitable for you.
Well, ironically, you have
coupon.
to have way more followers to get any sort of, you know, collaboration or brand deal with those restaurants. Like, they were handing out influencer cards to, like, people with millions of followers to get free Chipotle for life.
Oh, that'd be
Remember
sick.
that?
That would be sick.
But then if you're one of those people who gets the card to have free Chipotle for life, you'd feel really embarrassed going back there so often.
Oh,
you wouldn't even use it.
I did that.
Does that have to be to the same one?
No, that you just get
you
free
just-
Chipotle forever.
You just go to a different, like you have like a rotation.
They
like, look-
actually gave one of those cards to Shane Dawson and then revoked it when he got canceled.
Whoa!
Can you imagine?
That's awesome.
Look, I think that like if you're a restaurant, like there's undeniable like power and like working with these
Yeah.
a high level influencer to get your restaurant out there. But like I said, all of it is such a double-edged sword, and things can go wrong so easily that it's like, why bother?
Yep, she
Like-
needs to collab with the value menu.
I get
That's,
that it's a smart business move.
Like, why
Like-
didn't the guy just be like, I'll just have my daughter review it, and then
Right.
we
Yeah.
won't tell anybody that we're
Right,
related?
exactly.
Yeah.
But like I understand that there is a business opportunity in doing these collaborations with micro influencers, but the entire concept of someone calling themselves a micro
Yeah, that's
influencer
horrifying.
pisses me off.
Horrifying.
It just pisses me off because they always have this self-important attitude. And granted, she didn't put this guy on blast, she didn't name the restaurant, but she knew people were going to find out
Yeah.
because she was gonna
Well, just like you said, I don't know if I'm gonna post this video.
yeah, she was gonna hint at it, and
Press
she
X
was
to
she
doubt.
was hoping that this would ensue. She was hoping that this guy was gonna have to apologize to her, and it worked.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.